Okay, so I have Yvonne Downs here today with me. So we're just gonna jump into it. So, if you wouldn't mind, like, what were you struggling with your in your health before joining Limbic System Rewire?
I had been struggling with long COVID for about a year and a half. And I had been doing everything you can imagine that was healthy. I had been taking supplements, homeopathy, herbs, and I had been doing natural treatments such as MOPA, hyperbaric, sauna. The list probably goes on and on. And I felt like I was about 90%. That's what I would have said because I'm an optimistic person. And yet now looking back, I go, I probably wasn't 90. I just tried to be 90%. And so I remember I Facebook, a long COVID Facebook group.
Mhm.
And at that same time, I had been studying the vagus nerve. And I was like, I know there's something to this. And so the Lord literally placed you in my lap at the exact time that he would have me learn about my limbic system and rewiring my brain. And so I clicked on the link, and you were starting a free training within a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, I know this is what I'm to do. And so I joined, and my printer wasn't working, so I couldn't print out my workbook, but
Sure.
I was there and I was taking notes. And literally, like within the first 20 minutes of the first work, it was because I knew that the Spirit said, this is exactly where you need to be.
Yeah.
And so that just confirmed in my mind, because I had tried everything, and I had even actually tried everything with the Lord. So for me, my relationship with Jesus has been everything.
Yep.
And it wasn't something that I was like, oh, should I look to the Lord in this? He was a part of my every step of what I had done. And yet I really had I had released all things to the Lord. And I'm like, Lord, if you want me to follow you as someone who's totally sick, I'm going to. So I just thought that was going to be the way. I really didn't know. And so just the hope. And I think the two things that stuck out to me from that first day when I saw you teaching was stop researching everything. So I was like, I can do that. I'll stop researching everything.
Sure.
I'm like, I didn't know that researching was bad, actually. I thought I was being a good steward of what God had given me. And so I was like, this is important to know exactly, because this is an unknown thing to so many people. I want to know so I can not only get better, but I can help others. And so I was like, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to research anything. And from that time on, I didn't look at one more Facebook group, and I just chose to go. The second thing is that it is a limbic system issue. It's that my limbic system is impaired. So from stress and trauma of relational pain in the past 4 years, and then getting COVID, I just never got better. And so learning that as well, when you taught about the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, and that really just changed the trajectory. And I just chose to believe that that's what God was going to use to heal me. And so from the first moment of making that choice, there was hope. Right. And then as I continued, week one, I was like, okay, so I thought that when you're sick, you're supposed to lay down and rest because that is wise. So I found myself like pacing my day, which I didn't realize I had been pacing quite as much. I'm like, okay, I have to go 45 minutes to town. And so I'm going to rest a little bit. I didn't realize I was doing that to the extent, because I never did that before in my life. Right. And so having 5 kids and 4 grandkids.
Amazing.
Time. And I was like, I can't. And so I was like, Lord, I'm going to share the gospel whether I'm sick or not. Yet I'm going to choose to believe that you're going to use this to heal me. And so instead of laying in my bed, I went up and sat on my sofa, and I was like, I'm going to sit here. And I would distract. I would be like, I know that I'm feeling certain things, but I'm like, oh, I'm not going to stay there. So I started doing punch embroidery, and I did 500-piece puzzles because I was like, 1,000's too much, but 500 I can do. Sickness, I chose to walk around our lake every day. And so I continued that, but then I would be like, I'm going to walk twice, So because you encouraged us to push ourselves, I'm going to. And sometimes I would feel things, but I didn't realize that I'd become fearful of certain things because of relational pain. Because I didn't live my life before in fear in Jesus. And it was this subtle thing that I just became fearful of some relational things, which affected my body. And
Right.
so now I'm doing great. I just got back from Uganda I took 2 sons there, and I'll fly back in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, you are? Great.
So there's no way I could have gone to Uganda.
That's amazing to hear.
So,
Yes, I love it. Awesome, awesome. And you're reaping and you're flying back again. That's actually exciting news as well. So I'm excited for you to be able to.
it is.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. Appreciate it.